With Copilot for DevOps V6, we're building on that solid foundation. Copilot for DevOps built directly into Azure DevOps, and we're adding speed. We're adding more intuitive functions. We're elevating every corner of the platform with Copilot for DevOps V6. A lot of breakthroughs in document handling, in our AI chat, in the ability to use more context from your different documents, from your work items, etc. So it's all very exciting. Now, the first thing that we'll start with today in terms of what is new is that the elicit function now has improved document handling. So prior, you would have been able to upload up to 5 megabytes of data at a time in a batch. Now with our setup elicitation function, you are able to upload up to 20 files at a time, up to a total of 100 megabytes in data. So if we were to upload an attachment to use as context for our elicitation here, we'll go ahead, we'll use some of these files, upload, and we can apply to drill down work items as well. We have our selected feature, and this is just a quick primer for those of you who may be completely new to Copilot for DevOps. We want to give you a little bit of a foundation as well for what the tool is capable of. But now with improved document handling, the system is also going to be managing token usage as well. So fewer tokens are used. You're able to attach more documents. And as Daniel shared in the beginning, you can upload different types of files, such as SQL files, XML files, etc., to use for your elicitation. So this is one of the enhancements that was requested by our teams. More data storage, optimized token usage, and more file types are available as well.
I love to hear this, Aisha. All the folks that I talk to are super excited about this. The ability to add those different, data structured, information, but the file size, that's the biggest one, and the amount of files that you can upload. All the time I hear, Daniel, I have 5 or 6 files that are a little bit bigger than normal. How can I use those as additional reference? We're addressing that head on. So love to see this included.
Exactly. Being able to add context as you're eliciting these work items, it makes such a big difference. Now that was the elicit function. What else is new? We have an enhanced chat hub. A lot of clients love the chat function because it allows you a lot of flexibility with the way that you work with your work items, allowing you to do things like create queries on the fly. You'll notice that we do have a new interface. It is a little bit more streamlined. Now you'll see the ability to choose whether you want to look at recently created or recently updated chats. We have an old chats area as well. So this helps to manage your chats. Another really fantastic enhancement that we've incorporated with the chat function is the ability to have the AI edit appear directly within the tool. So previously I was chatting with the system and I asked it to generate a user story. It created a user story here. You're going to notice there are a couple icons that have now been added within the chat. So first of all, we can, of course, open up that newly created work item directly in Azure DevOps. We can also use the AI edit function directly from the chat. So this icon has been added in, and this supports you with being able to make those edits on the fly. So I can go ahead and I can use some of these icons here, for instance, to maybe add some length to my description. But you're also going to notice something else has been incorporated in the AI chat function as well. That is the ability to chat with your work item. So now you can have contextual chats with your work items, I could do things such as review the content of this current work item. I could ask AI to help me understand the context a little bit better. I could ask AI to help me refine specific sections. So for instance, this work item is about automated ticket creation capability. I could say, what are the risks associated with this work item and mitigation strategies? Daniel, it looks like you're smiling about this. What are your thoughts so far?
Aisha, I couldn't wait to come back on camera to talk about this because this is just really, it's really awesome. And, you know, what we've learned is a lot of people's first interaction with AI is that conversational style, right? ChatGPT or Copilot 365. So naturally, when we built Copilot, we built it a little bit more streamlined, right? No prompt, one-click publish, but having this sort of I would say UI and incorporation of conversation, I think really hits home with a lot of people. So this is just another way we're kind of expanding the reach and really being inclusive, right, of all different styles of learning with AI. So sorry, I came on early, but I really wanted to chat about this because I really, really love this enhancement.
Honestly, I love seeing your enthusiasm, Daniel. First of all, the system has been able to give us some of the risks and mitigation factors for this work item. And I'm going to ask the system now to update my acceptance criteria. And I would like this acceptance criteria to take into consideration the risks and mitigation. I'm going to use the rewrite prompt function as well. What rewrite prompt will do is it's going to take my prompt and it's going to elevate it by adding clarity, by adding additional context. So you can see here, we always say that using the rewrite prompt function helps to evaluate that the system has fully understood your prompt, but also I know you're gonna say it. AI knows AI best.
AI knows AI best. Yeah, 100%, 100%. And you know, guys, listen, I'm not a prompt engineer, right? I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs and the specific ways that can really help, but rewrite prompt has really helped me understand the best way. And listen, guys, we could be as quick, write a quick thought down, what you're thinking, and let AI do the legwork for you, right? That's the name of the game here is let it rewrite the prompt so that it can effectively get what you need out of the system and the data needed to, you know, carry out your project objectives.
You got it, Daniel.
Last thing I want to mention, Giles, is you'll notice there's a free trial button at the top of the screen. If anything is resonating with you today and you're interested to give it a try, please feel free to click on the button and our team will reach out shortly with the details. Over back to you, Aisha. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem, Daniel. Please. I think it's important for everyone to know that there are a number of ways that they can get started with this tool. And taking a look at what the system produced for acceptance criteria, you know, I'd love to hear from some of you in the chat, those of you who create acceptance criteria, how long does it generally take you to create well-structured acceptance criteria? Here we saw it happen in a matter of seconds. And of course, we say that we call it Copilot for DevOps because it's the Copilot, but you are the one in the driver's seat, meaning that you're the one who gets to review the AI created content. You're the one who gets to make the final decisions. And with the addition of this incredible contextual chat, you are able to ask questions. You're able to get additional context about your work items so you can really support your stakeholders and enhance the quality of your project. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll save and close this work item. Now it has some really strong acceptance criteria added to it as well. Within the chat function, we've also added the open in icon. So in this example, we've generated this work item, and now we can open up this work item in another function of Copilot for DevOps directly from here. We're streamlining the experience for users. Again, we have taken customer feedback into consideration. We want to make the experience flow as well as possible. And this is one of the ways that we've done that. So, Daniel, I'd love to hear from you a little bit about some of the other things that you've heard clients discussing, especially when it comes to things like visualization of requirements and that area.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, there's always the common problem of, hey, the requirements up front are too vague or they're not clear enough. By the time it makes its way downstream to those developers or those stakeholders, the rework aspect comes into play, right? And we don't, I'm sure a lot of folks can talk about the time wasted on projects, the resources being consumed. How do we eliminate this, guys? With clear visualizations and understanding of what the business and what the team is looking for, this will ultimately lead to less rework, right? But building these things out can be time consuming themselves as well, right? It could be difficult to kind of get your thoughts onto a screen or into a diagram. The visualizations can definitely help because you can take a quick idea or a work item and develop those visualizations based on that. So listen, everyone loves it for the simple fact that, hey, it's a great way to get started. It's a great way to brainstorm and really, take that, project from 0 to 50, 60% within just a few minutes.
Yeah, you've got it, Daniel. And one of the other updates we've made to the chat is a component of being able to quickly create your diagrams, of course. As you can see here, we have a flowchart. But you can, in addition to this, you can actually open up this item directly in the diagram functionality. So here we have our diagram function. You see that our flowchart has been created in here. And another update that we've made to the diagram function is the ability to have contextual chat with your diagram. So you've seen how you can have a chat with your entire project. You can have a chat with your individual work items. Now you can chat with your diagram as well. I could ask the system, give me a high level overview of this process. And the system will be able to describe that for me. What I also really like about this tool is that it tells you what the approach is that it's going to take to providing you with your response. So here it gives you this approach. And as you review the approach that the system is taking, you start to learn a little bit about how it is thinking. And then when you're tweaking your prompts, when you're iterating on those prompts, it's a little bit easier. Also, of course, you can use your text blocks at any point. So we can insert a text block into the system. And for those who may not know, the text block essentially provides the system with additional context. So you can provide the system with additional instruction in the form of prompts. You can provide the system with an example standards that you want the system to utilize or to reference. You can also provide the system with repeatable prompts or repeatable context. You could think of it almost as a template. So I'm going to ask the system to give me potential pathways that adhere to ISO 10110. So I'm referencing that text block. And now the system is again telling me its approach and walking me through how it's going to execute this. Now, if I want to update this diagram, I can simply ask the system to make those updates for me here.
This enhancement to this chat mechanism here is simply amazing. I think in the previous version, it wasn't as intuitive as this. I didn't think we could apply the text blocks, but now with that additional refinement, it's going to get you even closer to what you're looking for, right? So this is really awesome to see. The other thing that's really kind of blowing me away is the speed of this, Aisha, right? This is definitely an enhancement and improved from where the last version of the tool was. So it's awesome to see that.
It really is, yes. We've enhanced the performance, we've enhanced the speed. And also you're going to notice at the top right-hand side that we now have dynamic model selection. So the dynamic model switching means that the system is going to choose the optimal AI model depending on what you're working on. So for instance, here within our diagram tool, we're using GPT 4.1. But if I were to go into dynamic prompt, for instance, you see we're using O4 Mini High. And so the system is selecting the best possible model depending on what it is that I plan to work on. And this optimizes token usage. It also ensures that you're getting the best possible results. So on that
this is
note,
something, yeah, I really love this aspect, Aisha. The reason being, number one, guys, you know, when it comes to Copilot for DevOps, if you're leveraging our out-of-the-box language models, so Azure AI, OpenAI, or any of those other models, we include the tokens. Right now, obviously, if you guys have your own LLM, which you can point towards Copilot for DevOps, this wouldn't necessarily be too much of a concern. But listen, optimizing responses, keeping token consumption in consideration are definitely things that we kind of thought were very important to the tool. As listen, this kind of aids into that performance aspect as well, right, Aisha?
it really does, Daniel. And on that point of increased performance, increased speed, we must show you how we have made some updates to our mockup function. First of all, you're going to notice that with the mockup function, you now have the ability to upload files. You can use those files so that the system can potentially reference or even recreate a specific UI. In this example, we uploaded an attachment with a mockup of an e-commerce system, and we've provided a prompt. Of course, I did select rewrite prompt on this one. And this is the result. This is what the system has generated. So we have a task management page. We have an analytics dashboard, user management, and even settings have been generated for this particular item. And the system is extremely responsive. So we've also created another mockup here in dark mode. All of these different icons can be toggled. So I can actually play with this as though I was the end user. And again, we have many
Aisha,
different, yes, Daniel.
love the dark mode. I get that from folks all the time. I know a lot of people love using dark mode, right? Easier on the eyes. But what I will have to say about this is the mockup function is amazing, right? To instantly generate all these different ideas with just a click of a button, guys. Building this out in any other tool, it's going to require a little bit of effort, but within a couple seconds, right, you guys can get some really great starting points to give off to developers or stakeholders or any other team members that need to be involved. I'm really impressed by the speed, Aisha. I think that's something that does not go unnoticed.
Absolutely. We respond to our clients' feedback by adding these enhancements, because most of these enhancements you're looking at really do come from client feedback. So please, dive in. You see that start free trial option on the screen. Dive in, check it out for yourself. Of course, the best way to see if it works for you is to try it out. And another fantastic update that the system has produced is the ability to access Copilot for DevOps directly from the main menu. Again, this comes directly from client feedback. People wanted to be able to access Copilot for DevOps directly from the main menu. Because we are integrated directly into Azure DevOps, you can see how streamlined and unified this particular layout is, with Copilot for DevOps integrated into the main menu. And when you open up Copilot for DevOps, it leads you into that chat interface. And the reason why this is the starting point is because, according to feedback, this is the place where people felt the most level of flexibility to create those work items, to create their queries, and to have the system understand the context. So just for fun, why don't we ask the chat to tell us a joke? And you can let me know what your thoughts are on this one. Daniel, tell us a joke about the launch of Copilot for DevOps V6. Let's see what the system comes up with.
I
And
love this module being kind of on the side panel, because a lot of folks say, hey, how do I access it, right? And we obviously assist with kind of getting them started and help them show the best way to go. But listen, having something like this that you can just click into, automatically takes you to chat and start ultimately writing down your ideas, right? I mean, listen, not everyone works in a very structured or formatted way. But listen, at the end of the day, how do we take those ideas in your amazing brains and minds and from the team and collaborating and get them down on a system that can ultimately help you turn them into work items, test cases, tasks? This is the best way to go about this, right? I really love the chat function for the simple fact that doesn't have to be structured, right? You can come with very broad and very unstructured ideas and turn them into structured, formatted, standardized responses that can be project ready in a few seconds.
you could even get it to tell you a joke like this one. Why did Copilot for DevOps V6 break up with its previous version? Because it needed more space to deploy its new features. I don't know, folks. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that one? I don't
Love
know.
me a good dad joke. I love that. That's awesome.
So, by the way, another function that we have available with Copilot for DevOps, particularly within the chat function here, is the ability to utilize the Ask Chat function. So what I can do is I can, for instance, select some text and I can ask chat about that. So I could say, for instance, tell me about the enhancements that will improve efficiency. And so the system can answer questions that you provide based off of the ask chat function. So it's simply a select of the particular words in ask chat, and it will give you that opportunity to have those questions answered. So everything's about context. And we do have quite a few, I think, questions coming into the chat as well as in our Q&A. So just know that we are going to have time to answer your questions. And as those questions come in, I'd love to hear from folks as well. What are your thoughts so far? What are your thoughts on what you're seeing? Here, the system is generating some ideas and some essentially giving me some context on this particular question. I could take this information and I could have the system create a work item for me or multiple work items. I could ask the system to present me with UAT scenarios. That's something that we hear a lot of clients asking for. So provide me with UAT scenarios, please. Keep it user-friendly. Here's where I could also upload my attachments. And another advancement that we've had with Copilot for DevOps V6 is the ability to simply copy and paste items from your desktop directly into the chat function. So I, for instance, could take one of my files here in my desktop, looking for one here. I can copy and essentially paste that in here. And now the preview is showing I have something for this particular item, and I can say use the attachment as context. So we've given you more ways to work with the system. It's faster, it's smoother, it's more intuitive and more integrated as well.
There was a question in the chat, Aisha, that I thought, you know what, it's a perfect segue based on what you mentioned there. Like, hey, we can upload an attachment and build out our requirements, our work items based on that. But what if we had over 10 documents? What if we had an entire repository of information that we wanted to reference in a safe and secure manner? There is a capability for this, guys, and it's called Bring Your Own Data. Bring Your Own Data is 100 gigabytes of storage in which you can upload not only documentation, so Word, Excel, PDFs, but also your wikis from Azure DevOps, your work items themselves, or queries in ADO as well. So in terms of the possibilities and the limits, it's definitely expanded with Bring Your Own Data. So listen, if you're looking to increase some of the refinement, increase some of the input, Bring Your Own Data is going to be your best friend. So thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point, Daniel. We give you all these different ways to add context, and Bring Your Own Data is another one of those methods that you could use. So taking a look at some of the questions, we did have a request here to take a look at some of the other functions. So I know that some of you are a little bit more new to the world of Copilot for DevOps. We want to make sure that you also have a clear understanding of some of the other benefits. So someone was asking to take a quick look at the convert function. So convert function, you can easily transform your work items into different formats. So for instance, here we're going to take our user story and convert it to Gherkin. So just like that, you have all of your Gherkin scenarios presented to you. And you can simply add it to a field. So I could add this to a field of my user story, either at the top or the bottom, or I could replace it. And I can also create a brand new work item as well. So I'll simply add it to the bottom of that particular work item. Okay, now there are many, many different functions that are available with Copilot for DevOps to support you with your work. And as that icon at the top of the screen says, starting a free trial is one of the easiest ways to get started. We say that it's best to just play, just jump in and play with the tool.
Yeah. Aisha, thank you for showing us that quick convert option with Copilot. And guys, I see a lot of questions in the chat about, hey, can we see this? Can we see that? Listen, we'd love to get to all your requests and show you guys all the possibilities with our tool. The best way, like Aisha said, is not only by starting a trial, but also visiting our website, requesting a demo, requesting to chat with us. Listen, we're happy to take you through a tailored session where we can really drive in on what's going to be most valuable for you.
Exactly. I would love to answer this one question I'm seeing from, I believe it's Anya Nayak in the chat here. This is a great question. Can we create an understanding document for any app from test results screenshot or diagram, i.e. image to context? Yes. We also have enhanced our SOP document generator function by giving you the ability to upload files. So you can go ahead, upload your desired files into the system. And similar to what you've seen previously with the mockup, with elicit, with diagram, the system will utilize that. And you can just give a simple prompt. So please provide a document to help my end users understand the platform. Of course, you can add in your screenshots, your diagrams, your images to use as context, whatever that is. You could select work items as well to utilize as context. And then you can generate with Q&A or simply generate. If you generate with Q&A, what the system will do is it will come up with a number of questions to support you in giving the system additional clarity. So we'll ask you things like, can you clarify the end users? What are their goals? And then once you answer these questions, the system has more information to work with. So it's able to tailor the document to your needs with a little bit more accuracy. Being able to upload those documents in many different places, like the SOP and document generator, the mockup function, the diagram function, the chat and elicit functions, enables you to have the full picture provided to the system so that your results are more clearly defined, more accurate, and more comprehensive as well. And while this is generating, I do see another question here in the chat. And someone is asking about the different types of formats for our diagrams. Let me take a quick look here. Actually, yes. So can you request different types of diagrams? That question is from Preeti Sharude. Thank you for that question, Preeti. Yes, you can request different types of diagrams. You can simply use a prompt to update your diagram as well. And here we have our document generator, or this is our document that has been generated. So it is pretty clear. The system has even added a flow chart for us. We have our data flow and process steps created. We even have a little mockup. This can be saved to Word or PDF and shared with your different stakeholders.
This is really awesome, guys. And listen, I see a lot of questions in the chat about specific use cases. We're going to get through some of the questions in a few moments here. But listen, guys, the best way to really dive in, understand how this can apply, how this can help you guys is by clicking the book a demo button at the top. Spend an hour with us. We'll change your life for the better.
Yeah, that's a really great way to put that, Daniel. Now, a couple more enhancements that we have. So we've actually updated our admin panel as well. The admin panel, you're going to see now with the addition of these enhanced functionalities that you're going to see a list of different functions with the ranking of the AI models for each function. So from an admin perspective, you'll be able to have a clear understanding of what those ranked models are. And you can also, of course, make those changes directly from the admin panel as well. You're going to notice as well that we have AI edit and rewrite prompt that have been added to the list for ranked models. So we're offering you that ability to have flexibility with the models that are used for each function. And you'll notice as well, we have one for BYOD off and one for BYOD on. So as Daniel was mentioning previously, with the addition of BYOD, you have the ability to add up to 100 gigabytes of additional context in the form of files, wikis, queries. So that's one way that you can add that context, especially if you have more needs and there's a lot of data that's required. So we've incorporated that as well. And then with the LLM function, if you choose the use your own LLM function, we've now integrated an option where you can test the configuration before you actually deploy. That way you can make sure there are no issues, you can resolve them quickly and do it right up front. So these are some of the admin panel updates that we have as well. Now, I think we've covered most of our updates. We've definitely spoken about the enhanced elicit functions. We've spoken about the enhanced chat functions, as well as the diagram, mockup, SOP document generator enhancements. We've spoken about dynamic model switching, as well as how you can increase your level of flexibility within the admin panel. There's one more thing I wanted to touch on, and that's the Codeless app generation function here. We got a lot of feedback from clients that they wanted to use the Codeless One, which is our sister company's product, with work item context. So what that means is you can actually use information from your system, select work items as a reference. In this example, I'll go ahead and I'll choose a query. And I'm going to pull these work items, which are for the event planning portal, and use those to then generate an app. So we're going to call this event portal. And Daniel, I'd love if you could share a little bit more about the importance of this update and how this is so valuable to different team members.
Yeah, I mean, listen, guys, you've been telling us for a while now. I have these requirements. I use Copilot to refine them. I use Copilot to give me the best results possible. How do I take these and build out apps? How do I build prototypes? This connection between these two applications is really going to change the game because the time spent is going to be minimized, right? The copy and paste effort, the siloed workflows, as you will ultimately be eliminated, and you could build this directly within your Copilot window.
You've got it. You've got it. So we can start to choose our recommended objects. We can choose different properties. And I want to show you what the finished product here has looked like. So for that event management portal, here we have our events page. We even have the ability to create dashboards for this event page. All of the different tasks are listed here. You can see at the top, we have a number of different menus that have been generated. So all of that is using the context from those work items. And you may have actually created those work items using Copilot for DevOps. So we've integrated Codeless 1 directly with Copilot for DevOps, giving you that flexibility to create these apps. And there's one more thing, Daniel, before we get to the Q&A. So you will be able to find the AI edit function in more places. You can find AI edit directly within the context menu of a work item. And again, the AI edit function will allow you to make manual as well as AI suggested edits to your work items. So you now have more flexibility there. You'll also be able to find AI edit in the backlogs in the context menu of your backlogs, as well as your queries. And then when you open up Copilot for DevOps, you will also find the AI edit function in these three dots over here. So you can open AI edit on any particular work item.
That's really awesome. I love that, Aisha.
Yeah.
Just making the accessibility a little bit easier for folks to get exactly what they need.
Exactly. That's the whole point. So you've seen how Copilot for DevOps V6 is allowing teams to work smarter and faster than before. And more importantly, these updates are enabling teams to deliver better outcomes with less friction. And thank you so much for allowing me to demonstrate this today.
Guys, if you like what you've seen today, I've seen a bunch of use cases or really interesting questions. We won't be able to get to all of them, but listen, if you're curious to learn more, please click on the book a demo, register for a free trial, get your hands dirty. We'd love to spend some time with you, really drill down to what's going to be important for you, and we can really tailor the experience to what you guys are looking for. So before, as we wrap this up and before we get to the Q&A, we have a little bit of a poll that we'd love for the folks in the team to interact with. Which one of the Copilot for DevOps V6 features is most interesting or important to you? Is it the enhanced chat features? Is it the ability to upload different files for diagram mockup and document generation? The interactive chat in diagrams or AI edit? I really like that one. The dynamic AI model switching. Is it the ask chat function? That's another one I really like. Or is it simply, hey, we love everything that we've seen so far. How do we get our hands on this? So it seems like all of the above is really taking off as the clear winner. And we have the interactive chat in diagrams as well as the file upload is a close second. We'll give it a couple moments for the rest of the folks to leave their feedback. And again, guys, listen, if you're excited about what you see here today, click on the book a demo link right above. the best way to really get an idea of how this could add value to your workflow is speaking with someone, myself or anyone else on our team, to really understand how we can help your organization. All right, and it looks like all of the above is going to be the winner again. Couldn't agree more, guys. These are all really great enhancements. And I know there are a lot of new folks on the call. Like I just said previously, guys, if there's specific things you'd like to see, aspects you'd love to take a deeper dive on, please don't hesitate to reach out to us, book a demo, start a trial, really get your hands dirty, because ultimately we feel like this is the best way to get the most value out of the trial experience. You can scan the QR code, get in touch with us, give me a call, send an email, or visit our website. All great options to explore. Whatever you feel most comfortable with, whether that's booking a call and chatting with us directly or starting a trial, don't be afraid to reach out. Let us know. We're happy to help, and we're happy to support you on your AI Copilot for DevOps and modern requirements journey. And Aisha, I know this is really close to heart for you. Guys, we're not here to say, hey, here's a tool and you're on your own. We're here to help. For a limited time period, AI for DevOps Academy is available. This is valued at $3,000 per organization. And this is a great way to get started, facilitate your learning, reinforce that learning, and ensure you're getting the most value out of our tools. Aisha, I know you're the at the heart and soul of this, so I'd love to read just talk a little bit about this as well.
Yes, Daniel, this is all about self-paced learning. It's about being able to build those hands-on skills. And of course, you get certified at the end as well. So you're able to share those certifications and show that you are adopting AI in your DevOps workflow, in your project workflow. Also, we do have new courses that are going to be launched on Monday, so stay tuned and excited to learn with you.
Awesome. Thank you, Aisha, for creating this great resource for our clients. Guys, it's free for a limited period of time. Click on the link above, register today, get an understanding of how the tool can help, but also understand how fast and how quick you can get started with AI for DevOps Academy, exclusively available through Modern Requirements and Copilot for DevOps. And listen, built with the love and compassion and the insights from not only Aisha, but from our teams internally on how we can help you get the most value out of our tool. I know we're coming up to time, but listen, we want to stick around. We want to answer some of the questions that the team had, or that the folks who have been attending have graciously made available for us. So, first question, will Copilot for DevOps use ChatGPT 5 in the future? It was just released. Great question, Scott. I'll speak a little bit to this. Now, listen, guys, we get first access to a lot of the language models, given we are a Microsoft Gold partner. What we do, of course, is we do our own due diligence, right, Aisha? And we do our own internal testing as new models come out to ensure that everything runs smoothly. So yes, it is something that is in consideration, and yes, will be available in future releases. But Aisha, love to hear your thoughts on this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely do enhance our tool frequently and in line with best practices. And I would love to actually bring one of these other questions onto the stage here about user manual creation. Thank you so much, Anushri, for this question. Yes, absolutely. With the SOP document generator, you can create your user manuals, your SOPs, your BRDs, your release notes. It's all very, very simple.
Awesome. Next question we have is, what document formats are supported in the chat feature? So great question, guys. And I think we touched upon this before, Aisha, but Excel, Word, PDF, images, XML. Am I missing any? SQL? Am I missing any,
Yeah.
Aisha?
Yeah, you've got it. All of those files, PDF, all of those files are available within the chat feature, as well as all the other functions too, elicit, diagram, mockup, as well as SOP and document generator.
Another really interesting question is there a way to restrict access to a security group to prevent everyone from using this to help limit token usage? So great question, Julie. Always remember, Copilot for DevOps is deployed at the either user or, if you have modern requirements, floating level, meaning that it's binded to a license, right? So not everyone can jump in and start to use it. You do have to have a license of Copilot for DevOps to utilize these tools. However, you do have the ability to control not only what models you're going to be using. So I know that was another question. Hey, can I limit it to only Azure AI? We're a Microsoft shop. We only want to use the Microsoft version. That's going to be applicable. And also, you do have the option to deploy Copilot at the project level if preferred as well. Is this system available in multiple languages? So I believe, Aisha, for Convert and for a lot of the functions, it does have the ability to utilize different languages in the custom instructions panel. But I'll let you kind of speak to this a little bit as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You can 100% translate your requirements. You can also generate your requirements in different languages. And in terms of the UI being available in different languages, that is coming up in our next release. So as I mentioned, we take our customers' suggestions very seriously. That was a request. So we're going to be updating the UI so that it can be available in different languages.
Awesome. Aisha, I saw this question. I thought this was a really interesting one. If we're using our own LLM and upload files, do these files go to our own Azure storage, or do these files get uploaded to Copilot for DevOps storage? Great question. Number one, guys, always remember, whether you're using modern requirements or Copilot for DevOps, we do not store any client data. Part of the reason why we're built on the great system of Azure DevOps is the fact that we're leveraging the best in class security and repository. So what this means is all the information is stored on your side, guys. We don't store anything with us. However, what happens is when you're using your own LLM, right? And this is something that's really interesting we found with clients, is the fact that it's in your own box. It's secure, it's safe. You can actually turn learning on, right? And what this means is that as you're creating your artifacts, your work items, your documentation, it can actually learn upon what you're doing in Azure DevOps as well. So no, the uploaded files won't necessarily go to a storage place or in Azure storage per se, but listen, the work items and the documentation, all that great stuff, it lives with your Azure DevOps environment. Question from Jennifer: can you edit the mockups? Yes, you can. And I think, Aisha, one of the new enhancements was the AI chat or AI edit directly in the mockup function, I believe, right?
So the AI edit function is currently in the diagram function, but you can still edit the mockups using the prompt. So you can update your prompt at any point. And of course, you're able to use uploads as well, use your attachments. And I do see a question in here about webinars for people who have no experience with Copilot for DevOps. And yes, we actually have a lot of different resources available. I'm sure someone from the team will drop something in the chat with a link to where you can find all of those older webinars, which would be great for newer users of the tool. But also, of course, we offer hands-on demonstrations for people at any level. We are here to support you in adopting this tool as well.
Awesome. Well, a couple more questions, Aisha, and then we'll wrap it up. Oh, this is a cool one. Megan, is there a way to have the system build a query that shows hours completed on tasks under numerous user stories? Aisha, and I see you
Yeah.
smiling. I'd love for
Oh,
you to
yeah.
chat about this.
This one's incredible. Using the chat function, you can simply ask it what you need it to do. I personally, I find that creating queries manually can be time consuming. It can be challenging to know exactly what to ask the system. So simply go into the chat, tell the chat, I want to have a query created to show me this information, and the system will be able to do it for you.
That is awesome. Practical, real-time use cases live, Aisha. This is exactly why we built this tool. And listen, I love that question. It's really, it really tells the possibilities of using our tool, right? We have time for one more question here. And let me take a quick peek here.
Daniel, could I choose this one? I really like this
Yeah,
question.
go ahead, Aisha. Yeah.
I think this one is really important. Please show how AI turns that into test case work items. Thank you, Cheryl, for that question. Using the elicit function, you can quickly take your desired work items and transform them into those test cases with full-on test scenarios. I'm just going to show you very, very quickly how simple that is. We're simply going to select our test case and generate a list of test cases here on the left-hand side. We can then pull from any or all of these potential test scenarios. And then once you select a specific scenario, you're going to see on the right-hand side that it's previewed out with all the actions and expected results. So this is saving teams a significant amount of time. It's also enhancing the overall quality of projects because you have clearly defined steps, clearly defined actions and expected results that you can then add into your test plans. So we're making the process simple for you. You can see how quickly and simply that was created.
Guys, we know AI is never going to be perfect. The value here is how do we get started faster? How do we create a standardization across our organization where, listen, you put it, you take away the user tag, it looks like everyone's doing the same work, the same standardization across your organization. Copilot for DevOps can help ultimately achieve this, but also enhance the quality of what you're doing as well. Guys, if you like what you see today, if you're curious to learn more, we're here to help. And what I mean by that is, listen, not only can you book a demo with the link below, but you can also get started with a free trial right away. Please don't be afraid to reach out. Let us know if you're interested. We're happy to assist. And we're happy to take you on this journey of how not only, AI and Copilot for DevOps, but how our organization can help streamline your requirements and improve the overall accuracy, quality, productivity, and efficiency of your teams as well. Thank you, everyone, for your time today. It was a pleasure answering all of your questions and seeing how engaging everyone was. Please reach out to us, start a trial, book a demo, get in touch with us. We'll be very happy and excited to show you guys how you can leverage this tool to get the most value out of your day-to-day tasks. Thank you again, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. And again, this recording will be shared on our website shortly. Take care, everyone.